Okay, in this video we are going to go over how to set your site settings, your WordPress site settings. This will be the 8th video in the series I'm doing on WordPress training, which can be found for free at www. The thing we need to do is we need to get to the back end, to the dashboard. And you'll notice your settings tab is located here, and the first tab we come to, or the first setting we can adjust, is the general setting. If you recall from an earlier video, when I set up the site, I gave it the title WordPress training, and here is the default WordPress tagline, just another WordPress site. You can change that. If you'll notice here, we have WordPress training, just another WordPress site. Also under the general tab, we have your website address. This was set up in the initial setup. When you set your WordPress site up, you have the WordPress address and the site URL. Because my site is on XAMPP, on the XAMPP Apache web server that's on my computer. I have localhost, but you would have typically your domain name there. And if you created WordPress in its own directory, then you would have the directory right after it. If you did not create WordPress in its own directory and you have it being the main site, when someone arrives at your domain, you'll see www.yourdomain.com, and that's it. This email address is the general catch-all email address for anything you do on your WordPress site. It's not the same email address as you have under your user account, unless of course you make it the same. Typically anything done on the WordPress website, this would be the email notification for any notifications you have set up. Membership. This is where you set up who can register as a user on your website. You can have it set to, if you want, anyone can register. Personally, I'm leaving it unchecked, but you also have to have a default role set up as required. You'll notice here you got subscriber, administrator, editor, author, contributor. Unless you have good reason, I would leave it at subscriber, because subscriber has the least amount of permissions on this website. Time zone, you can set up your time zone. If you don't know what your UTC time zone is, you can Google it on the internet. You can also type in a city that's close to you. Central time zone, I happen to know, is a -6, UTC -6. So I'm going to set that. And you can set your date format, how you want dates on post to appear. I just leave it like that, July 30, 2013. That's be the format that it would appear in. And a time format, I'm just leaving the default there as well. As week starts on Monday on this particular site, you could start the week on Sunday if you wanted, or any other day. And then it's save changes. The next setting is the writing settings. This is settings for you when you write posts. The first thing you have, convert emoticons like this and this to graphics. That's annoying. I turn it off. WordPress should correct any invalidly nested XHTML automatically. And that's a good idea, to let WordPress correct stuff like that. You have a default post category. If you want to, WordPress sets up uncategorized. Personally, on one website I use random. I created a category called random, and I just changed the default to post to that. And WordPress post format, I will go over what these differences mean in a later video, but typically you would leave it as a standard format. Now press this as a bookmarklet. If you have a browser that supports bookmarklets like Chrome, you can actually drag that up. But to show you how it works, run out of space there. I'll show you how it works real quick. So as at Google, I could press this. It will create me a post page, have a link to the page I'm on, allow me to write the post, set the post format, add some tags, add it to a category, publish or save this draft for later to work on. You don't ever have to go to your website to do that. You can do it immediately right there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I don't want it there. Close out that. And here are some more advanced settings. If you want to be able to send email to your website to posts from email, you could actually set this up. Update services, if you want to notify different services that gather the information from updates from WordPress blogs, click on this link. Come here and just grab this entire list. Go back here real quick and just paste it in there. Save changes. Now all those links, all these sites that collect this kind of information will get it. Your post will get out there faster. You'll get more people seeing your post. Now reading. This is for your users here and the way you want to have your website set up. Typically the defaults are pretty good. If you want your post to show up on your home page, you can do that in a later video. We'll show you how to use a static page. You can set the amount of posts you want to show at a time. I personally like 3. You can put any number there. It's a personal preference. Same for your RSS syndication feeds. You can also select whether you want full text or summary to show up in the feed. You can actually, if you're, say, you just new site, you don't want search engines indexing it just yet, you can check that, save changes, and if you'll notice, we'll go under the writing tab here. And you notice where we had all those websites that collect information that we just copy and pasted just previously, it's no longer available because we have our update services turned off. So let's go back, turn it back on. That also keeps search engines from indexing the site if you do that. Discussions. The defaults are pretty good here. As you can go through these, you can play with these if you want. I would point out on other comment settings, I leave the default on comment. Author must fill out name and email. This is just a spam prevention. And comment author must have a previously approved comment. You can obviously you can uncheck these. But you do open up your website for spam. I prefer things to be left in moderation. If you do have a lot of comments, you can control the moderation here. Put words, keywords in, URLs, IPs, whatever. That will send it to a moderation queue if you're not having everything held for moderation. And again, you can have these marked as spam by doing the same thing. Media. You can set some defaults, thumbnail size, because when you upload images to your website, WordPress takes that image you uploaded and creates 3 images. I'll show you more about this in a later video, but you can set your thumbnail, medium, and large size. Permalinks, we're going to be making changes to these. This is going to be a video by itself, as will the media. The media will be a video by itself. We will get more into that in a later video. So that's all there is to setting up the settings for your WordPress website.